each other to 411 on Who Dropkick Tuesday.
So in love with you, you rarely see a love that true. Wasn't that enough for you? Wasn't that enough for you? I would climb a mountain, I wouldn't wanna see you fall. Rock climb for you, and give you a reason for it all. You kept on thinking you were slow bullet. Took me some time to realize it.
I'm white boy, right here on the 161st Street, across from the barber shop. Bro, I've been giving cigarettes away to black people in the neighborhood since I got here. That's the last one I got. I can't give you no more. White boy, what is this?
Don't film me, Drice.
I'm not filming you. Just put your voice on. Because, no,
I don't want nothing to do with it.
no, all right then, what?
Don't film me. I don't want to be on YouTube.
You don't be on YouTube. Or do it look like you're on YouTube?
Can I just say...
Does it look like you're on
Can I
YouTube?
just say, Drice, we thought you were dead. That's it.
Oh, fuck
That's
that.
it.
Cut, man. You're fucking with the politicians.
Yeah, we thought...
What? They nobody said. Do you see yourself there?
We thought the man got you, Drice.
Them motherfuckers tried to kill my black ass.
Obama gonna come here and shoot your ass.
Put that away.
All right, put it away.
We thought the man got you, Drice.
Okay, we're gonna call Sergeant Garcia. Yeah.
I think I know him.
Yeah?
He's a Marine guy, right?
I don't know. Yes, man. Speak to Sergeant Garcia.
He's in the office right now.
He's not in the office? All right, this is Philip Drice. He had been calling me and stuff. And I just want to let you guys know, I don't care what the congressman's office might have told you. I ain't no threat to nobody. Y'all sent a whole bunch of detectives all around the neighborhood, slandered my name. And I'm an ABA certified paralegal. I'm a forensic paralegal. And I ain't no threat to nobody. He might want to see that if he goes on the internet and take a look at the shows. Because whatever they...
I don't think he's looking for you in that respect. I think that, what tends to happen is sometimes you have individuals who may be concerned or whatnot, and then they call us, and it's our job to make an assessment of the situation. I think if they were seriously considering looking for you, they would have definitely went out there aggressively and found you. I think
Y'all would have got me already, because I ain't turned off my phone.
Yeah. I think what they have to do is, they have to make contact with you, so they can say that, hey, listen, we spoke to him in person, and he's fine.
Look, he scared the crap out of me, man. The detectives was looking for me. People been telling me all kinds of stuff. So look, I just want you to know I ain't no threat to the congressman at all. I even videotaped myself going by his office saying, hey, look, I ain't no threat to nobody. I exposed things about crookedness. My business lost $5 million, and these people did so much dirt to me, man. Y'all want to look at that? And if they file a false police report, that's a misdemeanor. They got to get arrested. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Okay. All right, brother.
All right, hey, listen, you be safe out there, man. Enjoy the beautiful weather today.
Thank you, my friend. You too.
All right.
Okay, bye-bye. Well, it just looks like we got what we wanted on the internet.
How solid is that Section 8? If you give us a relatively brief answer on this going forward.
Oh, it's absolutely solid at this point. This was, for perfect storm kinds of reasons, we were in this financial crisis. The storm has passed. We are now managing within resources that are available to us and predicted for the near future. And so at this point, the resolution that of these families that are now being ported over to HPD has now resolved the issue short and I believe long term as well.
Okay, then we have the other development, which was much ballyhooed, which is this plan by which the housing authority, to some degree, passes title almost to the projects, to its real estate, to effectively a, quote, nonprofit, which then is able to receive funds from the federal government that it otherwise could not receive, essentially for capital improvements. Is that the gist of it?
And ongoing operational dollars. Yes, it's the gist.
And that's significant. Tell our viewers the significance of that.
Oh, it's very significant. Since the mid-90s, these properties that were built by the benevolence of the city and the state look and are inhabited by public housing folks. You really can't tell the federally funded ones from the ones that were built by the city or the state. However, the properties built by the city and state were not receiving any dollars to operate or to be fixed up. This particular what was going on was that for years and years, NYCHA was using dollars they were getting.
NYCHA being New York City Housing Authority
was using dollars they were getting from the federal government and bleeding it away from where the properties were given the money to help support the operations of these other properties that weren't getting any dollars. And so consequently, everything was going down. The properties that were being given the money designated to weren't being given the full dollar value, and these properties were being given 50 cents on the dollar as well. This particular move is one in which we were able to get funding for these properties for the first time in many, many years, so that we can actually bring on caretakers, bring on plumbers and carpenters and such to bring up the quality of life at the sites, and to have an ongoing, predictable stream of dollars moving into the future.
And is that earmarked in ways that you can't put it to other uses, meaning that it is for capital improvements and maintenance?
Absolutely, and I think it's part of the earmarking also is built into the deal, the legal structure of our deal, that they will remain available and only available for low-income New Yorkers forever.
Before we get into some of the controversies relating to that, I know you're relatively new on the job here, but could you give me a percentage, as we speak, of elevators that are working in New York City Public Housing Authority projects?
Well, as of last night,
okay.
I think there
right.
were.
I'll take that.
Out of the 2,800 elevators that are within in our portfolio, which is probably more elevators than there are in cities like Cincinnati or places, just to put things in perspective. I think there were 2 elevators that were out last night. The elevator crisis.
Now that sounds like a pretty unusually low number. I've been around this town for a long time, and the saga of public housing tenants and elevators has been goes back almost to biblical times.
Yeah, I think what we have been really blessed with is remarkable technicians that are working with us right now, a real commitment to preventive maintenance, and a real commitment to modernization. A lot of these elevators were just past their useful life. And I think we're not there yet by any stretch of the imagination, but we have a modernization program in place that's looking to replace the antiquated elevators. But as importantly, more importantly, we have a system in place in which we're oiling and tweaking and doing all the things on the front end to avoid the downtime that happens on the back end. Unfortunately, though, despite our best efforts, vandalism is the real thing we have no control over, and that's the one thing.
You say no control over. Why? Briefly, again, we want to cover a lot of territory, but that seems to be passing the buck, saying you have no control over vandalism on your own properties.
Well, I wish I could say it was differently, honestly, David. It's a situation where someone with malintent would walk into an elevator at any given time, even at this moment, and there is just not enough police officers or cameras or systems in place for stopping someone from doing bad things in the elevator that would cause the elevator to shut down.
You still have the power, do you know, to evict tenants, for example, whose children are doing joyriding, what they call elevator surfing, jumping from the top of one elevator to the top of the other one while they're moving, and other kinds of vandalism?
Absolutely. That's the one thing we do have, is the lease agreement as the major enforcement tool. And we've also welded shut the passageways through the cab to the top, so we've really decreased the whole elevator surfing down to a minimum. But to your point, that is the strongest tool the Housing Authority has to impact the habits of those that want to do wrong. And we make it really clear to the parents that your housing is in jeopardy if your children do vandalism or if they do things that disrupt the quiet enjoyment for the neighbors.
This is Dr. Philip with Drice Personal Log. I found this video on the internet, and it helps explain the multiple ways that HUD, HPD, New York City, and New York City Housing Authority are in collusion to eliminate the rent roll in public housing converted to Section 8, which is a methodology in the 21 developments I spoke about in the World Appellate Court and the prosecution of those state senators, Shirley Huntley and Malcolm Smith, being a bunch of traitors to the people in public housing. This is another way of getting people out of public housing. Now watch this. It's got 807 hits already since yesterday. Just got put on. Watch what this guy says on how New York City Housing Authority takes apartments out of the rent roll, which is another form of redlining, separate from the remaining family member issue. But still, now you can see why the guy that's going for governor, and Mr. Cuomo, don't want to have anything to do with this, because when you backtrack or you reconstitute this whole scheme, it goes back to the Clinton administration, who wanted to eliminate welfare. Okay? And that means you eliminate people out of public housing through a revolving door policy that the Bloomberg administration picked up. And the rest is history. But let's concentrate on what this says. Watch this.
Plan calls for them transitioning 8,400
This guy.
of their
That's the
nitrogen
guy that's
into the
blowing the
subsidy
whistle.
program. All of the state-funded NYCHA buildings, if you add up the amount of units and all of
On
them,
New York City and New York State, how they got robbed for $500 million of property.
of those buildings. The ones that affect Harlem,
I'm paying $7,000
Manhattanville,
Yep,
Frederick Samuels,
it's property taxes.
and Drew Hamilton. When you look at the details of the plan, let's say that you move out of the building altogether for whatever reason. It has nothing to do with this program. That building, that apartment is going to turn into a Section 8 apartment. If you sign for the vouchers, now this goes beyond, being on the waiting list to try to get the voucher or even filling out the application. Once they say, okay, we will give you this Section 8 voucher, but once you sign that contract for the voucher, you transition that apartment into the Section 8 program. This special program is not the same type of Section 8. They have different nuances that, are different than the normal Section 8. One of the things that they have to lure you in, and I think this is like to lure you in, is that they're waiving the background check, the criminal background check, and the income verification for 6 months. Now, you know that you've never heard of that before, So obviously, you're trying to get everybody, to take this so they can transition these apartments. But now when it is time for them to do the income verification and the background check, and you don't qualify, guess what? You're out. Okay? You're going to lose your subsidy, and you can't, it doesn't go back to being in the NYCHA
Rent roll.
apartment pool. It's a Section 8 apartment. So you
Rent roll fraud.
Period. That's another thing. Once you sign the voucher, you can't change your mind. You can't, 2 weeks later, say, okay, never mind, I don't want to do this. It's a done deal. Now, there'll be all kinds of ways. These are the various scenarios that people need to realize. That, let's say, for example, you sign for the voucher. Okay? Let's just say now, under Section 8, that your household size is too small for the apartment that you're living in. Okay? So they may want to downsize you. Or not may, they will. If they can't find an apartment in that particular development where you come out of, you're not going into one of the other 20 available apartments if they have any. You're going to go into a federal building. Okay? Now, who do they bring in aside from the people living there in these developments? And these people come from a special list. HUD has a special list that I'm sure they're going to share with NYCHA. they have the complete profile of who these people are. Okay? They've already been, from reliable sources, they've been showing the apartments already to potential tenants. And none of them look like really, they're, put it this way, they're different. They're everything but African American so far. I would say don't sign the voucher. There are people out there that are now becoming up, they're getting up to speed on what's happening with this plan. So they'll have all the information, and they really need to know what they're getting into. So it's going to look good, because they're making it look really good, all right? But don't go by what Nike is presenting to you. That's what I'm saying. Because when can you really, truly trust, look at what's happening with Harlem, period, with the 125th Street rezoning, the Columbia expansion plan, and our local government failed us. So can we really trust the agencies that are headed by Bloomberg appointees? The answer is no. So
Robert Jackson, Melissa
I would say
Benito.
don't sign the voucher. Really, know what this program is really all about. Know it very well, and then if it benefits you, okay, there's a possibility it could benefit some people. Then go ahead and and sign for it.
But not likely.
I'm saying that it's not going to really benefit the majority of the tenants. Well, they can contact me at the provided email.
Right.
And also
Preserve Harlem's
a lot of,
Legacy at yahoo.com.
Groups like Maribel Sisters.
212-234-3002.
Nellie Bailey at the Harlem Tenants Council. There's some other on that list. But then the Manhattanville Tenants Association, okay, they're going to be up to speed. The Drew Hamilton Tenants Association, they're going to be up to speed. I can't speak offhand just yet about Frederick Samuels, but I know Drew Hamilton Tenants Association, they're going to be up to speed on this, Manhattanville, and we're trying to now, get this message out to the other developments in the other boroughs.
It's 8 o'clock at night. I'm at Highland Care Nursing Home. I came to say goodbye to Mrs. Green because by the time they figure out I did all this videotaping of people being neglected, warehoused in here, I'll never be let back in here. But if you die before I do, tell God not to forgive Congressman Meeks, not to forgive New York State Senator Huntley, not to forgive New York State Senator Malcolm Smith. Vivian Cook has cancer. She's going to die real soon, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever it is. She should live very long so she can suffer a long time. New York City Councilman Leroy Comrie ran her for an abomination. This is Sunday night, 8 o'clock at night, and these are the people. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. And she's right there. That's Mrs. Green. Hooked up to a machine, being fed these liquid supplements. And this is the warehousing of these old people for $140,000 a year. I can't. Mrs. Green, the reason why my life got destroyed was because I saved your life. I protected you about the $20,848,000 left by Hosea Mitchell, who lives in apartment 10K at Shelton House, New York City Housing Authority. Somebody help me out here, man. My life's been destroyed, everything. You hear these people yelling in here? This is the woman that was thought to be dead. She's not dead. She's not dead. She's right here. She's right here. At Highland Care, and that's her roommate. Okay? She is not dead. Mrs. Green did not die. I've been coming here for years. I kept a secret. I knew all this. I told everybody where she was, but they covered it up. The District Attorney's Office, Creedmoor Psychiatric, Human Resource Administration, Adult Protective Services. Everybody covered this up. And the District Attorney knows because I charmed Bianca into giving her the thing to go to my website, and the DA calling me, wanting me to come in there so they can arrest me and abuse me. Not going to happen. They come and get me, they can come and get me. But you better have a search warrant, you better have an arrest warrant. That's all I know. This is the victim of a Nazi copycat crime that Mayor Michael R. Bloomberg covered up. What can I tell you? This is what they look like when they're in a nursing home, dying. And they're just an economy being warehoused because they put them out of their house in public housing so they can harvest the apartments. And they dump them in a nursing home. And when they go to the hospital visiting nurse service, social workers get money when they refer them to certain nursing homes. Go ahead. He can vomit and choke on his own puke. He vomits, he chokes, and dies on his own puke. That's what I'm talking about. He vomits and chokes on his own puke. When's that going to happen? Go ahead. Go ahead. That's what I exposed in order to get people to do their damn job. That's what I exposed in order to get people to do their damn job. I'll never see these people again in life because I am the housing. Today is Tuesday, January 11, 2011. I'm at the home of Mr. Curtis. He is a person. Hey, you there? Okay. Yeah, this is the whistleblower, the federal whistleblower. Okay. At the New York skyline, go ahead. Bang! That's what I'm talking about. Woo! Whoa, 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 we getting deep here. What's this?
Oh, just you know.
Whoa!
Part of history.
Whoa!
Part of history.
Part of history. You go ahead, brother. You go
It's
ahead.
sad, but it's part of history.
Part of history. So this is the big Watusi Mandingo mixed super field Negro.
Yes.
All right. Well, you know, I put that whole skit together, and I finally see what it's about. That's what I'm talking
One of
about.
your veterans drew that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
One brother from Haiti did this?
Yes.
Outstanding. Nice place. Well, we can see you're not one of the impoverished, downtrodden, who's like one of these guys right here.
Oh, no.
See?
No.
That's Martin Luther King. That's Malcolm X. Elijah Muhammad, Frederick Douglass. All right here. And then this brother right here is what? Bang! Got the chains on his brain when these guys do not. Those guys are out there, and this guy is not. And that slave castle's door is busted, and the key's right there. And he still ain't walking away from that.
Scared to leave.
Damn! Scared to leave. And that's my guy right here. That's my guy right here, Malcolm X. That's him right here. Well, let me see what else we got here. But, oh my, this is the one!
Yeah. That's the one you were asking about. If that story was true about it, yes, that's it.
That's what you had given me a copy of this, and I took it to the congressman's office.
Yes.
And you met with Ida Smith. I was there. I was an eyewitness. Bang, we're going to have to send it to Mr. Juan Cuba at the White House.
Sure.
Okay, and I've got a letter from the Justice Department, and I've been trying to show people, you know, what exactly, and people of authority, because the newspapers have been, they don't want to print my story no more about the redlining scheme that I took to the congressman's office, and they did all kinds of things, calling me crazy, defamed me. The VA gave me a whole bunch of medication, which in fact I didn't need as a chemical restraint. So I gotta do what I gotta do, but I did speak to Mr. Juan Cuba, and it's time for me to now, and the last time I spoke to him was about getting those books to him.
Okay.
And now those books have disappeared at the congressman's office.
Wow.
So we actually send them this. But what I wanted to do right now was if you could please take me back to what happened, for you have taken these pictures, hold this for me, of this hangsman's noose. That was when, this was in the...
This was found, it was in the locker room at the VA.
At the, okay, the Veterans Administration what?
St. Albans, New York.
St. Albans, New York, Veterans Administration, motor pool locker room?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And how long was this hanging there?
I don't know. I walked in January 25th, 2008, and I saw it. But
Now, January 25th, 2008, and that's when you first saw that.
Correct.
And it stayed there for how long?
No, they took it down immediately after that, after the police were notified.
Oh, so you called the police after that. There was a police report.
Yes, correct.
The police never called the press on this.
No.
When you took it to the congressman's office, did they call the press? What happened when you went to Ida M. Smith after I turned you over to her?
She spoke to me a few times about it, but nothing amounted out of it. I didn't get any feedback. I didn't get any change. And they told me that the federal government says it's legal to hang them. They said it's not.
Ida Smith told you, said that the federal government said it's legal to put a hangsman's
They
noose?
said that they're not illegal, but a noose is not against the law by the federal government, but a swastika is considered a felony hate crime, where a noose is not considered a hate crime.
And Ida M. Smith told you this?
Yeah, in the discussion, she was like, there was nothing she could do about it. Because
Okay. And are you aware that she ever contacted anybody at the Veterans Administration?
I believe she spoke to the union. Outside of that, I don't think it went much.
And then what happened to you?
Nothing. They offered to transfer me to Brooklyn, Manhattan, or Staten Island.
In other words, get you out of the St. Albans VA.
Yes.
Did they talk to you about who put that there? Did anybody ever ask you who put that hangsman's noose in the locker room at the Brooklyn VA? I mean, at the St. Albans VA on January 25th, 2008.
No. No.
Do you know who did it?
I don't know who did it, but I know whose coat rack it was hung on. I found it was hanging on one of my coworkers.
What was the name of the person's coat
rack it was hanging on?
Yes.
Frank Castellano.
Frank Castellano.
Correct.
What happened to Mr. Frank Castellano after you reported this?
Actually, he got a promotion from work leader to supervisor, and they wanted me to work under him after that. And when I told them that they were adding insult to injury, they told me when I told them I didn't want to work under his supervision after the incident,
Yes.
they told me that they can transfer me to Brooklyn, Staten Island, or Manhattan, which I refused to go because I like St. Albans. I've been there 20 years, and I feel that I should not be transferred.
Now, were there other instances with Mr. Castellano or other Caucasian gentlemen at the Brooklyn VA Hospital motor pool that would lead you to think that there is an embedded racist environment in that motor pool?
Yes, I would think so. Because,
Elaborate, please.
Well, a brief incident to me happened roughly about 15 years ago. I came in there as a motor pool operator, as a motor vehicle operator, and shortly after that, 2 Caucasians came in there, and they were made grade 8s, and I was a grade 7. And when I brought it to their attention, saying, "How come I'm a 7 and they're 8?" They told me when I get an ACDL license, they'll make me a grade 8. Immediately, within 2 to 3 seconds, I reached in my pocket, hand them a Class A CDL license. And they kept promising me to give me the grade, and they never did. So at the time, there were 3 tractor operators, which me being one, the first one, and then the 2 Caucasians that came after me. So it was
You had more time in grade, more time in service than they did.
yes, and they were made 8s when they walked in the door.
Okay.
And I was never. Here it is, 17 years later, and I'm still a 7.
So it looked like you sound like somebody, federal government owe you some money.
Yeah, with some interest. And back
With some interest in back pay.
yeah, 17 years.
Pay a little pain and suffering, a little humiliation and degradation,
And then this is what I'm rewarded with.
and bang! That's what you know Frank Castellano did it, don't you?
I would surmise that it does belong to him.
You suspect him?
Yes.
Now, tell me about the other guy who put a little hangsman's noose in the hands of that female 6 months ago at the Brooklyn VA. You can tell it. You're a federal whistleblower. You should be protected. And we're sending this to the White House.
Well, another coworker of mine, I heard they had an incident too where somebody personally handed them a noose.
So a white guy handed a black woman a hangsman's noose.
Yeah.
And he ended up getting fired.
Yes.
And not right now she's on leave with mental distress.
Correct.
Well, what happened to you? How come you ain't all shell-shocked?
I am shell-shocked. It's a challenge each and every day to go to work. Matter of fact, it's hard talking about it, even like right now. I want to stop talking about it right now.
Did you go see some people, man?
Yeah, I did.
But I can't get into your medical records, man. I'm not going to get into that with you. Now, I want you to tell me your name. Tell me your name, and give me the name. I got to have a name.
Curtis Bench.
Curtis?
Bench.
You work at the Brooklyn VA?
St. Albans.
St. Albans VA?
Correct.
And you've been there 20 years?
22 years in April.
22 years in April?
Yes.
And you're a whistleblower?
Correct.
Are you afraid something's going to happen to you?
Yeah, I am. On a day-to-day basis, just going to work with the atmosphere and just all of the stuff that goes on and transpires. Oh, don't talk to him. He's a troublemaker. And
So they've been slandering your name?
Correct.
You've been profiled?
Correct. As a troublemaker. For standing up for my rights of not wanting to see a noose in a federal facility.
And you went to your congressman's office and they blew what? Supplemental log, December 12, 2010. I'm going to call Ida Smith at the office of Congressman Meeks to find out what's going on here.
Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Hart. May I speak to Ida, please?
Please hold on.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Hello, Ida. How you doing?
I'm not sure. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Something's wrong with your voice. What's wrong?
That walking pneumonia I had.
Oh my God, it came back?
No, it never went away. I'm still being taken care of by Aza.
Okay.
Now, Ida, I got a big problem. Ida,
I'm listening.
why can't you all put on a piece of paper Natchez conducting a formal redlining? Why is my stuff missing? What's going on?
What stuff is missing?
The 2 books I gave you to the White House, I spoke to Kim Fuller this morning.
She doesn't have them.
Who has them?
You have them. You took them
No,
yourself.
I didn't take them.
You did take them. You told me, well, they're not going to D.C. I need to keep them. And I said, fine.
That's not what we said Friday.
No, we said Friday. I said, if Kit doesn't have them, you have them. Because I gave her something that she carried back. Hold on a second. Hold on.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to call
No, wait, no, listen, Ida. I spoke to her already. I don't want to.
What did she say?
She said she got 1 book that I addressed to the Justice Department. I never sent anything to the Justice Department. There were only 2 books for the White House and the White House only.
Well, then she took it upon herself to give it to the Justice Department, because I know that when she was here, I gave her something, and I told you that, I remember telling you that...
So she took it upon herself to give it to the Justice Department, Ida? How you say? Ida, these people destroyed my life. These people hurt me.
You have to bear in mind this protocol. Okay. We don't send anything directly to the president.
I do. I did, and look at what I got. What y'all did didn't get me nothing. You've been watching me for years. You've been watching me for years. You know I'm not crazy, and you know what I got. If it ever gets exposed, everybody's screwed.
I haven't exposed anything.
That's what the problem is. I needed you to. Oh, you were, okay.
Okay.
Mommy, you know what? Then I was right about you. And I was...
I told you from the jump what was going to happen. I told you that they were not going to read it. And that's why you took the other one.
If I got them, I got them. Okay, but anyway, the exact same thing are the court papers for my appellate court case, so it's not lost. I just wanted your copy so that I can show that I submitted this, that it was supposed to be for the White House, and it never was sent there through your office, and it was your superiors that contained it. That's obstruction of justice.
No, it isn't, because you could have sent it yourself, and you didn't want to.
Because with the evidence that you got, that you read, and you concluded that Knight is conducting a form of redlining, only you can say that, not me.
But you said it, and I said I agree. I didn't put words in your mouth. I never said it. I said I agreed with you. It was a form of it.
Okay. Ida.
Don't say that I said that, because I didn't say it.
All right. Then
you did what you did anyway.
What it said is, then what it's to say is that the office of Congressman Meeks agrees with the evidence, which is what we said from the beginning, that from the look of the evidence, not what I said, it's what the evidence says. NYCHA is conducting a form of redlining.
Something that we've always agreed to, that the evidence speaks for itself.
Right. Well, then somebody's supposed to do something after I lost all this, Ida. After I lost all this. Don't you want to help me get my money? That's the only way I'm going to get a pretty woman.
You have enough brain and wherewithal. You don't need a pretty woman. You're going to do what you know you have to do. That's not a prerequisite. And you know that's a fact. And you know that's not what you're about.
Well, guess what? Mother is courting a woman for me, giving me things to take to this woman that's got 2 kids. She just got a brand new baby. The boy, I met the guy, and I was telling him I'm giving this kid a college scholarship because I pay like $40 a month, and he gets at least a 2-year degree and all that. And then she told me she ain't with, and I mean, she gorgeous. I love them kids. But I'm tired of getting a woman through loving their kids.
I hear you.
I've been through that already, raising people. Why do you think when I get mad I say all the bad things I say?
Well, you can blame whatever you want, but it's all coming from your mind. So anything you say, I'm not going to believe.
How do I regain all the money, all the time, everything I lost?
Well, what happened to the Aquatube campaign?
Aquatube is right here. I got it out.
Then why aren't you doing it?
I need money from all of my losses in order to kick this off. I need $70 grand just for the radio commercials. I need another $30,000 to give to them down. I need at least $150,000. I spent close to $400 already.
Because you had contracts.
I have a contract which is an allotment contract. I've got to spend all of the advertising dollars in order to generate what I need to make it a mutual. A contract is something that two people provide.
So you're suggesting that your pursuit of the 9th West is going to pay for that?
My pursuit of this cause for black people's rights, that all the black politicians did everything they could to help the city destroy my life.
I don't believe that, and you don't believe that.
Yes, I do, Ida.
You're using it as a catch-all.
No, listen to me, Ida.
No, I'm not going to hear it because it's not true.
When the office of the congressman got evidence that something as so egregious has occurred, and that the president's office responds to the Justice Department with and the letter showing.
And that's exactly why she sent it to the Justice Department.
Where was I supposed to? I wasn't supposed to know what she sent, when she sent it, how she sent it, what's going on, so that'd be consistent.
Let me speak to her, because if she told you she sent it, she sent it.
Okay, then I need a response letter. She was telling me since my stuff was so garbage and disoriented, they don't respond to that.
Excuse me. They've moved offices twice, and you know what it's like to move your house? It's worse when you're moving an office.
Okay, guess what? That's why the letter from the VA, I used that as my own excuse not to file litigation on anybody like I was threatening and all that stuff, because we need to get this together, please. But I'm going on vacation. I'm done. After talking to you.
I'm trying to find your white book. If she says she has one, I know you have the other, because I didn't want it here.
Okay, guess what? Now you know. Now I know how important it was. Look, right now,
No, that's not it. That is not it.
What?
What it is that I told you that they weren't going to read it, and you took it.
Okay.
You said, if that's the case, then I need to hold on. I said, fine. And then something else happened, and you needed it anyway.
Right now.
You don't remember that?
No, ma'am. But that's okay. I got the duplicate in the court moving papers in appellate division. It's going to cost $300 to get it. That's all. Nothing else. But I just needed that one because since you had it, I wanted to show that I did my due diligence to bring this forward. I got a book coming out. I got to prove everything I say.
Well, you have enough documentation to prove everything you say. I've always told you that.
All right, now I'm selling that story. But then now what about this whole situation with it goes back all the way to the Attorney General, which is now the governor-elect. But then now what about this whole situation with it goes back all the way to the Attorney General, which is now the governor-elect, unleashing NYCHA and untying their hands with no oversight for them to write policies that is eliminating people because of the Clinton administration welfare elimination program. This is crazy. This can get me killed. The things I'm saying. And the evidence points to it. What do you want me to do now?
I've always wanted you to get on with your life.
See that guy pushing that shopping cart, Charlene? You see that, Bill? That's what they wanted me to turn into. I'm not going to turn into that. Okay? That's why I went out this country. No matter what they do, it's not to their benefit.
Hey there.
Speaker number 4, Philip Price. Please come forward.
I'd like to thank you and I congratulate you.
Thank you.
are the most articulate and the most charming chairman of the 4 chairmen that I've known. Ladies, isn't he a good-looking guy? Just a good-looking guy. Okay? Now, we're going to be real nice to Mr. Rhea.
Did my mother pay you to say that?
No. This guy did, the housing whistleblower.
Okay, all right.
I'm that guy.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, I spoke to Constance Roberthan. This retaliation against me to destroy my life, can it please stop? I'm a remaining family member. Right now, I've been beating up Byron Metakakis in Supreme Court so bad, this is for you. I just beat him up that fast.
Got it. Okay. So.
This is the rent strike I'm orchestrating against Nigel. Because if we don't do that.
Okay. You should move to the next one.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I have 1 minute and 40 seconds. 3 things. Number 1, the retaliation against the whistleblower. If an old lady is embezzled by an employee out of $20,858, Ricardo Elias Morales calls my boss, who I work for at a law firm, and tell me to tell them to leave alone. I left them alone, but you don't leave the old lady in the apartment with the gas stove on for 4 hours, and then you orchestrate a retaliation scheme against me with a containment apparatus that destroyed my life, cost my business over $4.5 million, $100,000 for antiques taken out of my home. I'm a Haitian French Orthodox Roman Catholic. I leave people alone. I don't bother anybody. But the kind of compassion that it takes to see what I'm seeing is just humane. It's nothing special. Another thing, criminal neglect. I don't understand this. You mean to tell me you got 2 lawyers in 2 different courts and both of them have a different story about an supposed exclusive senior development that is not? Another one. When you deceive the judges, you deceive the courts, and I bring that to you. The Veterans Administration asked Congress to speak to call in state and federal law enforcement. Ida Smith says, you even got a call recently about May Keys, where they said NYCHA is conducting a form of redlining. Those 21 developments, I believe, were part of the Davis versus NYCHA, that it was found that NYCHA was conducting a form of redlining. Are we still on the same page here? And I'm done.
Mr. Price, we'll have somebody come over and speak to you. Okay, specific to your concerns. Speaker number 5, Carmen Quinones.
Hi, how are you?
Mike's coming.
My name is Carmen Quinones. Actually, I'm a former Democratic district leader for a lot of developments which I still haven't paid anything. But I am from Douglas Houses. First, I want to tell you, welcome.
Thank
and
you.
I'm sorry that you're getting beat up, but NYCHA has done so much to people that we don't know who to believe anymore, which is sad. I want to tell you that, though, Gloria, hi, because you have always been very helpful to me. And Margarita Lopez, always there, presente. But what I want to tell you is that there are so many things wrong that people don't want to believe anything. That's where we're at here. I think that your presentation, beautiful. But even to get here, I couldn't even get down because my elevator was broke. So I had to come down 15 steps, get on the train, and come to see you, baby.
Okay. All right. So, listen, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
After my 2 minutes, you can tell me whatever you want.
No, I thought
it was about
elevators.
my concern is that we have a lot a lot of seniors in our development, a lot. We also have a lot of youth. They don't know what to do. They have nothing to do, so they're loitering. They're hanging. Our seniors are scared to come out. They're scared to come out. These developments have become hazardous. Your elevators, I am so tired of them coming and putting a Band-Aid on that elevator and that Band-Aid falling off in 2 seconds. So I understand where you're going, and I know that we need the money because we too are underfunded in our development. We need more maintenance workers, and I hear you. All I'm just asking you is to bear with them, bear with everybody here, because everybody is not going to be nice.